Good evening. You're watching the English news from the Sultan of Oman television. First, the headlines. The activities of the Strategic Exercise Decision Making 5 are concluded at the National Defence College. The Ministry of Housing distributes more than 66,000 land plots in various governorates of the Sultan during 2017. And 100 buses started evacuating citizens from Al-Fawqa and Kafaria villages in Idlib province as part of Syrian government deal to release hundreds of rebel prisoners. Those were the headlines, and now the news in detail. Activities of the Strategic Exercise Decision Making 5 concluded in the National Defence College. More details in the following report by Captain Saeed bin Yahya Al-Amri.
The National Defence College Strategic Exercise Decision Making 5 constitutes the last major activity of the academic year and is designed to offer the course participants the opportunity to engage in the national and international decision making at the grand strategic level. It replicated national, regional and international scenario, reflecting a global context.
Thanks to the National Defence College for the program and the training today that we have seen to build strategic leadership.
The exercise is set in the real world, in the general time frame of current strategic environment. It is forward-looking and issues-based. The pursuit of national, regional and international consensus in reaction to complex situations lied at the heart of the exercise. It was driven by a number of themes that shaped the whole exercise. Those themes replicated the varied dimensions of national and international power resources, which involve political, economic, military, social, technological and strategic communications and media instruments.
This exercise, Decision Making 5, is the culmination of the important things that the participants have learned throughout the year, and they are practicing and implementing at real time the important things that they want to do at the strategic level. Our role as directing staff is to see that they are very much practicing this with a realistic approach, and to see that they have accustomed themselves to the decision-making process at the high level, and to take it with them back after this course to work and basically to benefit Oman and benefit the institution they came from.
The strategic exercise is a major event within the National Defence course. It is planned to take place at the end of the course. The exercise is designed to put the participant, the course participant, into the strategic decision-making environments. It encouraged them to examine a wide and a broad spectrums of strategic issues, which has national, regional and international dimensions.
The aim of the strategic exercise is to develop the participants' decision-making skills at strategic level in order to better equip them for subsequent appointments. The objectives of the exercise are to enhance understanding of international decision-making, explore emerging strategic issues from national, regional and strategic perspectives, balance the utility of international instruments of power, and use the media as means of explaining and justifying decisions.
As a consultant, my role was to give the technical view on some of the incidents, because most of these incidents has a technical part of it, and since we are specialized in this field, so our input was to give some of our advices and a view and our based on our experience how things should be managed in a better way by deep understanding from the technical point of view.
I believe this exercise gives us good opportunities to practice what we have learned during the course, and from my perspective I can say that this exercise really achieves its goals and its objectives.
The strategic exercise Decision Making 5 was carried out as a translation of the vision of National Defense College, which aims at delivering state-of-the-art strategic academic training to qualify the course participants for future strategic posts. Captain Saeed bin Yahya Al-Amri, National Defense College, Muscat.
More than 66,000 land plots with various uses were distributed in various governorates of the Sultanate were provided by the Ministry of Housing last year. The residential land plots represented the highest percentage of the total number of land plots, as they reached more than 52,000 distributed in various governorates of the Sultanate. The Ministry of Housing stated that during the first half of this year, it has provided more than 22,000 land plots in various governorates of the Sultanate. It also added that the total value of the legal transactions of these land plots reached more than 1.4 million Omani Riyals. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs stressed on the existence of the ratification offices in a number of wilaya besides the General Diwan of the Ministry in Muscat, which work on providing their services to the citizens and residences. It pointed out on its official website that there is no need for the citizens to travel all the way to Muscat to complete their transactions, where 6 ratification offices are distributed in the wilayas of Nizwa, Salala, Har, Sur, Khasab and Bremi. It added that these offices were providing their services for many years. The ratification offices provide a number of services, namely ratifying all kinds of documents issued from the outside the Sultanate and to be enforced inside the Sultanate. It also ratifies Omani documents that are meant to be enforced outside the Sultanate. Such documents include work contracts, academic certificates, commercial agencies, and others. The Ministry of Manpower activated the electronic approval services for businessmen within its approach to facilitate its services and keep up with the e-government transformation. It also activated a number of other new electronic services on its official website, such as registration of training contracts. Smart Glass Cover is an application by Sky Student Company from Sultan Qaboos University, which controls the glare of glass surface, including car windshields and phone screens, by electronic connections. Passion of innovation is what keeps the students creative, for what they learn shouldn't be in ink papers, but in real-life application too. Sky Student Company from Sultan Qaboos University is a group of eager students who invented an application and a glass cover that controls the glare of closed objects like cars and phone screens and reflects sunlight from hitting the cars from inside by a phone application. These applications could create a revolution in this local market that will compete within the global market. They support knowledge and innovation-based economy, which the Sultanate is working on improving through many projects. To the Calma News Bulletin. A town in Ecuador is trying to break a world record for a floral arrangement.
عبق فاح بين جنباتها، فنفثت سلاما برائحة لبانها. حلقت عاليا نحو السماء، فنقشت بأبجدياتها تاريخا جميلا، وبكرمها أمست مضربا للأمثال. مهرجان صلالة السياحي 2018 من 10 من يوليو إلى 25 من أغسطس.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. The annual revenues of investments by public authority for social insurance reached 3.75% in 2017. According to latest statistics, the active establishments covered by social insurance system increased to more than 16,000. Meanwhile, a number of active insured people in the insurance system reached more than 233,000, with a growth of 2.9% in 2016. The General Federation of Oman Trade Union conducted a workshop on occupational safety and health on electricity sector in cooperation with the Norwegian Confederation of Trade Union. The workshop reviewed regulations, legislation and practices related to occupational safety and health on the electricity sector and mechanism of improving them. It came out within a number of recommendations, such as necessity of employees' commitment towards the implementing provisions of health safety regulation, intensifying monitoring of establishments working in electricity sector. Another recommendation was established a platform between the bodies concerned to notify any accidents or injuries cases at workplace. In continuation of the activities of the 5th Social Work Week in the governorates of Al-Wusta, the Department of Social Development in the Wilaya of Mahut organized the 2nd Social Forum. Our reporter Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi has more details on the following report.
Social activities play a prominent role in the delivery of messages to all members of the society. In this context, the Department of Social Development in the Wilaya of Mahut sought to enlighten the community members about a number of social issues, namely blackmailing, the damages of the mesquite tree, marital counseling, and starting up a private business project.
The forum aims to educate members of the community about some problems and risks that might face them and providing solutions for them.
Raising the awareness of the community about the importance of family cohesion based on meaningful dialogue and positive communication, and enlightening the family members of the effects of the negative use of social media means, especially smartphones, were among the aims of the forum.
This participation is a continuation of the efforts of the public prosecution in order to enlighten the society on how to use the means of social communication and avoid harmful effects of cybercrimes, especially e-blackmailing.
The forum also focused on encouraging young people to establish small and medium enterprises by giving them some guidelines on how to manage their business projects. This forum provided significant methods of prevention and values related to socio-economic, legal, and environmental issues. From the Wilaya of Mahut, Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi, Al-Wusta, Governorate.
Annual harvest competition for excellent students in memorizing Holy Quran was concluded today in the government of Dhofar. The celebration included honoring the top 66 students from different governorates in the Sultanate. The competition aims to improve teaching quality in Quran schools, creating competition among faces of memorizing and teaching good ethics. The closing ceremony included a number of nasheeds and poems along with a visual presentation of the competition aims. Now for some international news, buses reached two Syrian government loyalist villages today to evacuate thousands of people from two villages which the rebels have besieged for years as part of the deal under which the Syrian government is expected to release hundreds of prisoners. At least 88 buses had entered Al-Fuwa and Kafaria in Idlib province so far today, along with Syrian Arab Red Crescent ambulances for sick residents. Idlib lies in Syria's northwest corner, the last major insurgent stronghold in the country, and where neighboring Turkey has deployed forces. A commander in the regional alliance that backs Damascus said the villages of Al-Fawa and Kafaria, which are loyal to the Syrian government, will be emptied of all their residents and fighters. Some 7,000 people will leave the two villages. The resumption of commercial fights between Ethiopia and Eritrea today marks the latest step in a peace process that in just 6 weeks has drawn a line under a bitter conflict. In 1962, Ethiopia's last emperor Haile Selassie proclaimed the annexation of Eritrea, abolishing its autonomous status and effectively making it a province. Eritrea launched a war for independence that lasts nearly 30 years. In 1991, Eritrean rebels who helped overthrow a military Marxist Ethiopian regime of Colonel Mengistu Haile Mariam seized the Eritrean capital Asmara. They installed the government and gained full independence in 1993, a secession blessed by Addis Ababa. However, the 1,000-kilometer border between the neighbors is not properly defined, and the move deprives Ethiopia of its only entry point to the Red Sea. In May 1998, skirmishes erupted after Eritrean forces entered the area around Badme, claiming the town under the borders drawn during the Italian colonial rule. Fighting flares in May 2000. A fierce bombardment of Eritrea turned the conflict in favor of Ethiopia, while indirect negotiations resumed in Algiers in 1998 to 2000. Fighting cost nearly 80,000 lives. An intense heatwave killed at least 14 people over a 3-day long weekend in Japan, and high temperatures hampered the recovery in flood-hit areas, where more than 200 people died last week. At least 14 people died from the heat over the long weekend, including a woman in her 90s who was found unconscious in a field. Thousands were treated in hospitals for heat-related conditions. The heat was most intense in the landlocked areas such as Gifu Prefecture, where it soared to 39.3 Celsius in the town of Ibigawa. On Monday, the hottest in the nation, the capital Tokyo recorded a high of 34 Celsius on Monday. Temperatures in parts of western Japan, hit by already floods, reached a high of 34.3 Celsius by midday, yesterday, creating dangerous conditions for military personnel and volunteers clearing mud and debris. A town of Pedro Montayo in Ecuador is aiming to break a world record with the construction of an ancestral pyramid made by more than 500,000 roses grown in the highlands of Andean County. The 1,100 square meters pyramid, weighing some 30 tons, is based on the pyramid of Cochasiki Ecological Park to the north of Quito. It seeks to win a place in the books of the largest floral arrangement in the world. Guinness World Record team inspected the finished work on Saturday and will give its verdict within a week. Each rosebud was manually placed by volunteers working in 24-hour shifts starting in July 9th. Organizers estimated about $500,000 was spent in the roses. The current record is held by Frankfurt, Germany, set in 2005 with a flower arrangement of 170,000 flowers. Now for the general focus around the Sultanate. Cloudy skies prevail over the coastal areas of the governorates of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle, and the rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of cloud accumulation and scattered rainfall over the higher mountains. Low clouds and fog late at night and early morning are expected over the coast of the Arabian Sea and Sea of Oman. Winds will be southeast light to moderate and seas will be slight to moderate with a maximum wave height of 1.45 meters. This is the Sultan of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The activities of the Strategic Exercise Decision Making 5 are concluded at the National Defense College. The Ministry of Housing distributes more than 66,000 land plots in various governorates of the Sultanate during 2017. And 100 buses started evacuating citizens from Al-Foa and Kefaya villages in the Idlib province as part of the Syrian government's deal to release hundreds of rebel prisoners. And with that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin from all of us here in the newsroom and the studios. Thanks for watching. Good night.